Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Slayer Sunday, where I'll be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 3, Episode 4, Beauty and the Beasts. The episode begins with a full moon and Willow reading Call of the Wild to a wolfed out Oz, his first appearance in this form since Phases. Xander shows up to take over guard duty and Willow gives him a tranquilizer gun, just in case.
Sleepy time. Gotcha.
Speaking of, as soon as Willow leaves, Xander puts his head down to catch some Z's. Meanwhile, Buffy and Faith are on patrol where we find out that Buffy is still dating Scott, and then some panicked guy rushes through the woods, trips, gets dead, and into the credits we go. The next day, Scott meets Buffy to say hi, and Oz says equal hi to this girl Debbie, who is with her boyfriend Pete. But Buffy has to book because she has to go to a meeting with Mr. Platt, the school counsellor. Willow and Oz go to the library where Giles jumpily tells them about the murder victim last night, Jeff, who turns out Oz knew. Giles explains he was mauled, and Oz is upset, but Xander says it couldn't be Oz, except the window is open and Xander fell asleep, so Giles is furious. Buffy goes to see Mr. Platt, and his shirt hurts my brain, and hey, he was in Friends! Mr. Platt seems like a great guy, really understanding, really supportive, so you know he's not long for this world. He gets Buffy to open up a little about Angel, and he knows just what to say.
Lots of people lose themselves in love. It's no shame. The hitch is, you can't stay lost. Sooner or later, you have to get back to yourself.
Buffy is filled in on the whole Oz might have escaped and killed someone thing. But come on, what sense would it make for Werewolf Oz to climb out of the window, kill one person, and climb back in through the same window in time for the sun to come up? But no, Oz is still a suspect, and with everyone going off to research/investigate, Giles suggests Faith be on Werewolf Watch.
Oh, you're having a Slayer watch me? Well, good we're not overreacting.
He goes to storm out, but Willow stops him because it's nearly sundown, so he locks himself in the cage, and he's very troubled.
Get away from me.
Buffy is on patrol when something rushes past her, so she gives chase, only for it to knock her down and, oh, hey Angel! You've never looked better. Angel attacks her and they get into a fight where she punches him in his unconscious button. Willow goes to the morgue, and was there a deleted scene that explained that she's an expert lockpick, or why nothing is ever fucking locked? Because seriously, morgue should not be that easily accessible. Xander sneaks up on Willow for some reason, and then Cordelia sneaks up on Xander for equally some reason, and now the sneaking up is over, Willow takes some fingernail scrapings, and not only is this dude obviously breathing, but I thought he'd been mauled. I demand more mauling. Buffy chains Angel up in the mansion and notes the burn patch from his re-entry. But sorry, this is a shit ton of light pouring in just to be the moon, and yet Oz is still wolfed out in the next shot, so it's not the sun either. So unless it's the moon from Bruce Almighty, what gives? Anyway, as I said, Oz is still wolfy, being watched by Faith. Sort of. But Buffy comes to relieve her. But she falls asleep too, although Giles doesn't fly off the handle like he did with Xander. He notes her research on hell dimensions and Akatla, and she pretends she had a dream about Angel in order to ask questions. Giles says that if Angel did come back, he'd be a monster due to all the torture and damnation. Especially, as was established in Anne, that time moves much quicker there.
From my experience, there are two types of monster. The first can be redeemed, or more importantly, wants to be redeemed.
And the second type?
Second is void of humanity. Cannot respond to reason or love.
And that right there sums up the major plays in this episode. Oz being the first, and the second being, well, you know what I said about new characters being introduced. But it also describes the duality of Angel's personality. Oz asks if all is well, but Willow says her findings were inconclusive. Could be werewolf, could be vampire, could be ugly jumper. Buffy has lunch with Scott and these two randos from earlier, but Angel is on her mind, so she skips school to go see him. He's a big old growly mess when Buffy touches him, so she decides school is the better option. But is that chain gonna hold him? That Pete dude convinces that Debbie chick into a cupboard to make out, but he accuses her of drinking the glow stick juice, and Buffy goes to see Mr. Platt, and babbles incoherently at the back of his chair.
I need to talk to someone. I'm so scared.
That's really brave of you, Buffy, but no, he's dead. Damn it! Pete flips out at Debbie because she dumped his Kool-Aid, and he starts smashing things, And Jesus, dude, calm down. That's not a good look. He smacks her around and basically implies that he killed Mr. Platt, so the sooner Buffy can kick this guy in the dick, the better I'll feel. He changes back and blames Debbie for making him angry, and she takes care of him, but no, fuck you. The coroner's report puts Platt's death shortly before Buffy found him, which delights Willow because that gets Oz off the hook. But he's off the hook anyway because he didn't escape last night. Oz is late to his cage date because he's meeting Debbie to help her with a test, but he notices the black eye, which she shrugs off as an accident. But Oz smells the bullshit a mile away. This girl is giving me very mini Meredith Blake vibes. And when he reaches the library, Willow tells him the good news. Oz connects the dots and cites Debbie as the connection, but Buffy jumps to Pete as the culprit, so they all separate to track them down. And Oz...
And I'll go lock myself in the cage.
Buffy and Willow find Debbie in the bathroom, who practically tells them what's going on, and Angel breaks free, while Pete decides to take on Oz.
This is kind of a bad time.
Oz warns him that he will change soon, but Pete beats him to the punch and he rips the door off the cage and flings him around so hard he grows at least half a foot. Oz fights him off and...
Time's up. Rules change.
So they get into a proper scrap, which brings everyone running. Debbie stops Buffy from tranking Pete, and Giles gets it instead.
All right, bloody priceless.
So Faith is sent after Oz while Buffy takes on Pete, who does a runner. Climbs out the window rather awkwardly, leaving blood behind, and he attacks Debbie because she told Buffy, and Buffy finds her dead. Maybe? I'll pencil it in for now. Faith manages to trank Oz while Buffy and Pete fight, until Angel comes roaring into the rescue and kills the shit into him. Angel devamps and recognizes Buffy, and I'm gonna go cry now, okay? Debbie? I just looked it up and you're dead, so quit breathing! We get a big exposition dump where basically Pete was doing a Jekyll and Hyde deal. And no, seriously, Willow, explain this t-shirt choice to me. It looks like a ring of mold. Buffy comforts Scott, now his two besties are dead, and the episode ends with Buffy watching over Angel. Okay, so let's just jump straight in with the bad. Pete was a pretty poor monster of the week, and his transformation effects were hella goofy. Pete made potions so Debbie wouldn't leave him, although how he made them, or with what, I guess we'll never know. And in the end, he wasn't even under the influence of the potion, he was just an angry dickhole. Although a fairly accurate, if not slightly stereotypical depiction of someone in an abusive relationship, Debbie was kind of annoying and rather bland. And as they're friends of Scott's, it would have worked better if both of them had been introduced along with him in the previous episode to establish their characters rather than plopping them in this episode and expecting them to float. However, the rest of the episode was really good, with some important groundwork laid for the season to come, and another whodunit with both Oz and Angel as suspects. I think it would have worked better if Oz had gotten out of the cage on the first night, which would have justified Giles' anger and eliminated the logic hole, allowing Oz to be an actual suspect. There was some great acting in this one, especially from Sarah Michelle Gellar, Seth Green in his low-key subtle way, and David Boreanaz, who portrayed yet another version of Angel, so good job everyone. I'm not sure why Cordelia and Xander dropped out of the episode halfway through. They were probably off boning or something. But it's fine, because Xander's sometimes forced comic relief can get a bit tiresome. I'm so mad they killed Mr. Platt off. Why is Buffy not allowed to have a supportive teacher in her life besides Giles? Wait, maybe Giles is the killer? I even liked Faith in this episode because she was more chill and less in your face. So it's a shame they didn't keep her like it. But I guess season 3 wouldn't be season 3 without Faith being a loopy nutcase. All in all, a pretty solid episode. Better than the season so far, but the victims linking to Debbie was a bit tenuous and we could have done with at least one extra body before that conclusion was reached, just to add more meat to the story. Side note, before we get to the deaths, if Pete had survived Angel's attack, he would have become a werewolf because Oz was all like, om nom 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 nom. So we have 4 deaths for our count, all human. Jeff, who was hunted down by Pete, Mr. Platt, who was also killed by Pete and didn't appear to put up a fight. Then Pete killed Debbie by, I guess, angrying her to death. And Pete's killing spree was cut short by Angel breaking his neck. So that brings our running total to 13 humans, 1 transformation, 8 vampires, and 4 demons. So there you have it. That was Beauty and the Beasts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot. or consider subscribing if you want more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.